Good evening, everybody. It is Meteorologist A's Weather Forecast, and welcome back to the update. As you can tell, this is going to be the final update of today, since this is my third video and final, because this is again another triple upload day. I'm starting to think I should do triple uploads maybe once a week at least. So I hope you guys enjoyed this triple upload day. I had a lot of fun making all these videos for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching them too. So as you can tell, we are going to be looking at the tropical update for the Pacific on Erick and Flossie. Again, I had an earlier one out come around noon or 1 o'clock there, so if you want to check that out. So we actually have a lot of new updates, and some of them might surprise you, some of them won't, but there actually are some exciting ones too, but also some scary thoughts ones too. But guys, if you guys want to know all the new updates, stay tuned for the rest of the video. Also, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit post notifications on so you get notified as soon as I make these videos, so you get the most accurate information. So if you guys want to know if it's still going to hit Hawaii, stay tuned. So as you can tell, we're going to be looking at the 5-day tropical weather outlook. And so here we have Tropical Storm Erick. It was actually supposed to be Hurricane Erick, according to the timing and cone timing and cone earlier this morning. It was supposed to be a hurricane already, but that did not happen again. They usually delay. They usually are never ahead of time. They just usually delay. So it might be maybe into midnight or 11 o'clock when we can finally have it, or maybe it's going to take another 24 hours to become a hurricane. Most likely not. I think maybe 6 more hours to become a hurricane based on the timing. And also, in the model show it getting to a hurricane category 1 force wind. So we're all gonna know basically when it should become a hurricane when we go more into the video. So here's Erick and Flossie again. Erick and Flossie are moving at a fast rate. Erick is moving at 16 miles per hour to the west-northwest, and then Tropical Storm Flossie is moving at 18 miles per hour at the west. But Tropical Storm Erick is actually very, very close to hurricane force winds. It's at maximum sustained winds at 60 knots now and at 70 miles per hour. So guys, it's getting very, very close to hurricane force winds. There just needs 5 miles per hour more to reach the category 1 force wind. Its minimal central pressure is at 991 millibars, so it has not gotten any stronger so far. I think it passed the warmest waters, which is right here, so it's going to take a bit longer, because Flossie is really intensifying now. So I feel like there's the box area that's super duper warm water right here where it's super warm. It's like the holy grail for these areas to form. And then we have Flossie at 45 knots and 50 miles per hour. Has not gotten any stronger at all yet. And I think just NOAA has to update a little bit, but based on this, it's still tropical storms. And then we have 1,001 millibars there. So now we're going to be looking at the satellite imagery. This is actually one of the surprising ones. I think we finally have our I formation getting ready, guys. I think that's a sign of it becoming a hurricane very, very soon. We have the I formation right here, right there. We actually are starting to have our I formation. Looks like we're having the worst of it right here. So it could potentially be a hurricane any second now. We just need to wait for it to reload. We can't say anything. It actually might be a hurricane now, because usually it takes a little bit to upload, but update. But it's right here where we see the I formation. I don't know if you guys see it, but it's right there. We actually have all the outer bands right here. It's actually incredibly organized now. Look at all these bands right here. It's incredibly big. It's incredibly organized. You see all the vorticity right here. It's moving like this, like many of the storms. It's moving like this at this direction. It's again moving to the west, and it's moving rapidly to the west-northwest at 16 miles per hour, I believe. But it's incredibly, look how organized it is. I love looking at these systems, how organized they get. And then we have all the outer bands right here, and then we have the big bands right surrounding this area. So this is what it's looking like right now in the satellite imagery. Now we're going to be looking at the cone and timing. So again, we do have the circle has gone a little bigger, not incredibly huge difference really than compared to the last time I posted on this. But again, the X marks the spot at 11 a.m. So this is where it was. So it should be maybe right here. So it's getting very very close to the H, which is a hurricane. So as you can tell, it's not far from reaching a hurricane. We just need to wait and see when. By 8 a.m. tomorrow, it is a hurricane. So for sure, it's gonna be before 8 a.m. for sure. I think maybe around 11 o'clock tonight is when it could become a hurricane. Maybe a little later, and then by 8 a.m. Wednesday, that's when we need to worry a little bit. That's when it gets to a major hurricane, which is Category 3 or above. So at this point, it's a Category 3, and then on 8 a.m. Thursday, it does weaken back to a Category 2. And then at this point, this is the next 4 to 5 days, which isn't as accurate. But then by Friday, it does become tropical storm, and it looks like it dips right south and then goes back up. So again, it's like Hawaii has a force field basically. It looks like it has a force field surrounding the island. So like, it looks like Erick is gonna go like this, and then it looks like Flossie's gonna go like this. So honestly, it's literally like if the island was a couple hundred miles away to the south or to the north, it would have gone hit. So it's like honestly the perfect location for now, but again it could change. And then they missed Barbara too, so it's kind of like what's happening. So guys, as you can tell, this little area is where it is right now. That's where it is. So it's not too far from Hawaii. It's going to be moving to the west northwest and then taking a turn to the it's going to be taking then a turn just straight to the west. So it's not going to be going north, and then it's going to go to a northwest turn right. So it's going to be like literally surrounding Hawaii. It's not even going to be touching then. We do have one model that the TABD that is showing it maybe going that northwest turn just right before. And then the closest one really is the CEM2 or the CEMI, which is like very, very close to the island again. All you need to know from this type of model track is that it's going to be dodging the island. It's just going to be going south. So nothing really to worry about on the Erick. So now we're going to be looking at the tropical storm Erick model intensity guidance. So here it is right now. This is where it is right now. So it's very, very close to tropical hurricane force winds. Looks like it does get there within the next 5 to 6 hours again. It can be from 3 or in between 3 to 7 hours. But again, some of the other models do show it staying at it right here, do show it staying at a tropical storm. But that's very, very, I'm going to doubt that for a second. I think it's just going to go straight up. Some of the models just doing great straight through Category 1 force winds. And some of the models do show it stopping at Category 2 force winds there, but then the other models do showing it getting to a Category 3. So there are very, very good chances for getting to Category 3. And one model does show in Category 4 now, so we are seeing that Category 4 starting to pop up. So yeah, it will actually be incredibly dangerous if it does take a turn closer to Hawaii as a Category 4. But again, it is going to weaken before it even gets to Hawaii, so it could probably just maybe weaken to a Category 2. But again, it's looking like it's going to go really, really high, and then it actually looks like it weakens incredibly fast. It just like straight down like that. So again, we just need to wait a little bit. Again, not a huge difference really in the model tracks yet. So that's why I'm going pretty fast through this. I just want to get you guys to get the new information. And now I'm going to be looking at the tropical storm Flossie radar. As you can tell, it is a bit more. It actually is a bit more circular. But I mean, like by like how it looks, it's have a circular formation basically. It's pretty there's just a lot of dense clouds in one little area. That's basically what it's looking like. We don't have a huge amount of outer bands. We do have these areas that do have some outer bands, and then we have these, but not a whole much right now. It will very soon get organized, but as you can tell, it is moving just to the west at 18 miles per hour, so it's actually moving incredibly fast for a tropical storm. It's actually incredible how fast it's moving. So that's why it's also scary, because now it's like unlike Barbara, it was like going at 7 miles per hour. Now we need to worry about something that's going twice as much as that. So we have twice as less time to prepare for this. So again, here's tropical storm Flossie again. Not a huge amount of formation. We are actually having a lot of vorticity in the to the center of the dense clouds. In the center of the dense clouds, we are having some formation. It looks like I really don't know if you guys see it, but I actually see a little circle right here. I really don't know if that means we are somewhat getting a somewhat kind of look like an eye. I know it's only at 50 miles per hour, I believe. Yeah, it's only at 50 miles per hour, but it looks like we are somewhat having this little very small circle in there, but again, that could be nothing, but you never know. So now we're going to be looking at the cone and timing for Flossie. So as you can tell, we do have Flossie just becoming tropical storm this morning. So it's not going to be as big of a circle with tropical storm current winds, with is in the yellow shade. So the X marks the spot for 11 a.m. So it looks like it's going to become a hurricane 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Again, they most likely, it will delay most likely into the afternoon. It always happens. And then it looks like it become a hurricane, stay as a hurricane all the way Tuesday, and all the way Thursday 8 a.m., which reached that 3-day mark, is where we still have possibly a category 2. We don't see a M for major hurricane here yet, so we can't say Flossie will be more than a category 3 yet. And in the next 4 to 5 days, it is still going to be a hurricane. It'll look at 80 all the way to Saturday, still a hurricane, so not any sign of weakness or a weakening. Sorry. Now we're going to be looking at the tracks for Tropical Storm Flossie here. Again, we can't say honestly. There's not really a big point of looking at the tracks right now, because we don't see Hawaii anywhere, so we really can't say where it's going to go. But I also want to show you guys, because it looks like it's going to take that northwest turn way before Erick does, so that's why it is bringing an opposing threat, though, for Hawaii for some tropical storm force winds, though, so that's also why. So you guys see where it's going, but again, it is just going to be heading towards the direction of Hawaii. Now we're going to be looking at the model intensity guidance. It is potentially becoming a category 1 the next 24 hours. Because as you can tell, it did say 8 a.m. tomorrow, but if you look at all the models, they all show later than 24 hours. So that's even more of a chance of it delaying. Now we're going to actually see it get category 1. A lot of the models do show it stopping at category 1, maybe 40% of the models, but then the other 30% of the models that show getting to a hurricane will be getting to a category 2, and then we do have 4 models actually showing it getting to a category 3. So again, we have less of a chance for Flossie getting into a major hurricane here. Again, Erick has now become the bigger threat with wind damage and by size, but Flossie is the bigger threat for landfall, because it is going to be taking that northwest turn, but it actually might miss Hawaii. Like I said, that force field thing, it might just go north of it. Now we're going to be looking at the wind. So this is actually where we will see where it goes. Now we have in the next 12 hours, we do have Erick at 69 knots here. So look, it's heading straight towards the direction of Hawaii. The next 36 hours, look at this eye formation. You can actually see the eye right there. There's the eye. It's at 67 knots. Again, it did weaken just a little bit, because again, the Pacific's just like that. And then here we have Flossie bringing up to possibly 50 knots out there. And then look at this. It does. Erick does get a bit stronger right before landfall. It's at 74 knots there. And then here we have Flossie getting a lot stronger than we saw in the last update, and it just misses that turn. And then Flossie just dies down. It just loses all its energy with only bringing 57 knots. So it just loses all its energy. And then it looks like it just goes just north of the island. So it's just incredible what's happening right now. As you can tell, Erick goes like this, and then Flossie goes like this. So it's honestly there's some kind of a force field around Hawaii. It just blows my mind how lucky Hawaii is. But again, it could honestly change, really. But knowing how the Pacific is, it's not looking like it is. And then, honestly, here's the radar. 989 millibars there. We have Flossie, and then it just goes north. It will still bring some wind issues. It still brings some rain issues. But I actually should quickly check the total accumulated precip, just for you guys, for those people who want to know how much rain we can expect. So you aren't going to expect a whole lot of rain, really. Only about 5 inches at most for the island, for the coastal areas, and then not really a whole much. This is all the rain from the 2 systems combined, up to 2 feet there. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Hope you guys like the triple upload. Bye, guys.